Hello, everyone. Good Monday morning. Good Monday morning. My name is Glenna. I am a California registered nurse. I am the founder and CEO of Your RX for Life. Actually, RX for Life, but it is Your RX for Life because employees in the workplace are definitely needing a prescription for life because currently you all are pretty much getting a prescription for death, and I will explain that. I have been in the healthcare industry for 30 years, 16 as a registered nurse. I have worked in areas of medical ICU, adult, cardiothoracic, adult and pediatric, lung transplant coordinator, and the pain management, the Heart Institute. I have enjoyed a long career as a registered nurse. I'm the founder and the CEO of actually two companies, RX for Life and Nays Vision. Well, RX for Life is a health equity consultancy and education agency. And then I have Nays Vision, which is a publishing company. I've authored two books, Yet Here I Stand, My Journey from Bondage to Liberty, and then which is a memoir, and then Bias and Burnout, 10 Power Moves for Healthcare Workplace Equity, which is a healthcare business book, really kind of laying down what clinical depression is as it relates to the workplace. Black women, our accountability to the God that we serve, and job stress and discrimination and institutional racism. So I'm not going to be with you too long. And I just want to get kind of, down to the meat of things. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing okay. So today's subject is, I have my notes here, so we'll be looking down. I don't want to miss a step. So why do African American women need an ally when they are dealing with job stress? And the reason is because when you use your health insurance card to take advantage of the benefits that your employer has provided for you, you have to understand that your employer is the owner of your health insurance, right? They are the sponsor, and everything that you go to, like the therapist or the doctor, they're going to be mindful of what's best financially for your company, not so much as you. It can get very complicated, but when I use my health insurance benefits to go and complain about workplace discrimination, I never got the information that I needed, nor did I get the allyship that I expected when my job was after me and, isolating me and putting me in toxic work environments and really just putting these constraints on me. And I know that a lot of other Black women and other employees are experiencing this job stress, but are not getting the resolution that they need. So I'm here to help you navigate those systems, and not just that, but also to provide you better ways to making sure that you know how to use your policy and getting the things that you went in to work for, you getting the things that you like, your employment rights, making sure that you are accessing those appropriately. So the number one that I have here on my notes is that institutional racism, like using your employer's benefits, can lead to medical oppression and is keeping you from living your very best life. I know that we have this mindset about the employment, that you're just there for your job and somebody else should be able to give you the rights when you need them. But if you're being discriminated against in the workplace, I want for you to consider that the workplace is like, it's the dichotomy between good and evil, right? we're all there in this one particular area. We're supposed to be there to advance the mission of the company. But then you, as the employee, something crosses you and causes you to have moral distress. You're responsible for that moral distress. And I know that it's going to make you feel like it's isolating and that you can lose your job if things like that happen, which is the reason why, as a Christian employee, you have to know how to use the word of God, because psychiatry is the foundation of medicine. They have great influence, and psychiatry is 180-degree difference from the word of God, okay? 180-degree difference. So if you are going to the doctor using your health insurance card, going to the doctor to complain about an awareness that you have in the workplace that you need to follow through, they're going to stop you. But you following that through is your path to a better life, to better health, to better wealth, to not being corporate slaved and not being attached to the workplace. So this is why I created my company, because those medical constraints are real, and you can't come into agreement with them because they're inaccurate. They're inaccurate. You have a soul, you have a spirit, you have an awareness, and your one responsibility is to always follow it. And I know you're going to be like, oh, my job and my insurance and all of those things. You really can't, because you cannot lose no good thing. But if you disregard all of that, you'll lose it. And this is the reason why we have so much homeless population. This is why we have workplace violence. This is why we have domestic issues, because our employees are going to the doctor asking for information to help them overcome this job stress in the workplace, and they're getting diagnosed and medicated instead. You're not depressed initially. You will end up depressed if you do not handle the opposition in a good way. And I would love to be able to show you how. So I said the psychiatry has a heavy influence on healthcare, which is their theories, their DSM-5, and whatever new volume of their Bible that they have out right now is a 180-degree difference than the Word of God. Word of God is the authority for you to have a better life, to have abundance. And you have to follow that, especially if you're in the workplace, because things like, let's see, we talked about the poverty, and things like the General Motors faulty ignition happens. You know, somebody in the workplace knew that. Things like UCLA and the dirty instruments happen. We have to be able to speak up for the things that are happening in the workplace so that we not only protect our health, but our future generation health, and also the health of the communities that we serve. Because when we don't, the blood of those people's lives are on your hands, right? And you don't want to be responsible for all of that. So we have to figure out how to help employees understand that conflict in the workplace is not a bad thing. Conflict is a good word. It requires, discussion and some support so that you can prevent damage from happening to yourself and to your employees. And then also, you need facts, findings, and the fortitude to go up against opposition in the workplace. I can't tell you how traumatizing it is as me, as a Black woman who, stemmed just from slavery and not being able to really articulate what it is that we want, because it feels offensive to be vulnerable in places where we feel like, I'm here for a paycheck only. But you really do need to be able to put your needs first, set healthy boundaries in the workplace so that you can go home and sleep at night, so that you're not, over drinking and over sexing and overspending, that you are literally handling the business that you were hired to do, which is more than just doing your day-to-day job is also knowing your anti-bias policies and your anti-discrimination policies and using those to stand up for yourself in the workplace. Because if you don't take accountability for yourself, no one else is. And I think that when we're dealing with depression in the workplace and mental illness in the workplace, and then we use our health insurance benefits to go to therapy and to go to even psychiatry and our doctors, one of the methods that they use is to help you feel as if you're not responsible for that. Like, oh, it's not your fault. There's nothing that you can do about it. However, I disagree. Depression is very much our fault when we don't handle the stressors in our life initially. So if you can learn how to better manage stress, and I really don't like using the word manage stress because I don't think that any of us should manage stress. We should eliminate stress as soon as it comes up, but it takes real decision-making skills in order to do that. But each and every one of us have experiences in our past life, in our childhood, where we can absolutely apply the knowledge that we have learned from that in our current situations so that we can move past that and get to healthier mindsets and healthier relationships, working relationships, intimate relationships, if we learn how to, exercise our rights, our employment rights. Employment rights are not to be given to you, but they are to be pursued. They're there for you to be pursued. And I think one of the disadvantages we have as Black Americans is to expect white people with an unconscious bias of our situation to give us something. They don't see your needs, but just because they don't see your needs and they're not compassionate towards your needs doesn't mean that you don't need. There are strategies that I used when I went through 4 years of systemic employment discrimination to make sure that I wasn't disadvantaged. And I want to be able to teach this American workforce this, especially Black women who are career professionals, are faith-based, and don't have any plans on being entrepreneurs. And I still don't want you dependent on the workplace, but you can use it as necessary. I have a little note here for the organizations that may be watching this. Part of the problem with the controversy and the provocativeness of my work is that organizations think that their employees are going to rebel and everything. But this work I'm absolutely teaching as a professional tool in the workplace, which not only advantages the employee, but also advantages the organization as well. So this is a real win-win for the employee and the organization. When employees don't stand up for their rights, when they don't play chess instead of checkers, when they don't exercise their rights in a bold and professional manner, then the employee loses. They become disadvantaged. They become labeled, diagnosed, and victimized. And the employer, they move on and they have more cases and more discrimination cases. So I do believe that working with RX for Life, me, the CEO, Glenna Davis, will help uproot the issue so that we can work in a unified way that is advancing health, protecting our communities, and protecting our next generation. I can get into our nursing. Healthcare is falling, you guys, and so I just want to be able to help save as many people from despair and shipwreck as possible, because this is where we're going. And I need for people who are experiencing job stress in the workplace, that is because of workplace discrimination. Workplace discrimination is usually tied to a protected class status, like you're Black, you're transgender, age, or something like that. But workplace discrimination is also whistleblowing. You can be a white person. Workplace discrimination is also just seeing something that is not effective, that is dangerous for communities, like the Flint, Michigan water plant. like people sat there and made these decisions without regard to the humanity. And if you are an employee and you are in conflict, in a moral distress about some things that may be going down in the workplace, this place is for you. Or if you are an employee who is thinking about filing administrative complaints of discrimination, this program and RX for Life is for you. I want to talk to you. I want to help you to make decisions and become empowered and confident employees in the workplace. So if you're experiencing any job stress, causing you to feel depression, I want you to take a quiz, a 6-question quiz. I will leave the link here in the, I don't know, what did you call it? The after I finish the video, I'll leave a link down in the comments, and then please take the quiz. And then also Wednesday nights, I will be doing better. I will more be explaining who I am and what products and services that I have to offer Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please tell someone about RX for Life. I'm looking to help 1,000 African American women become empowered, confident employees free from racism and stress-related disease. So until next time, I want you to have a wonderful day. Bye.